My name is Aaron Adams. This is my business partner, Jed Rammel. We're from, and we'll be happy to put my email and send you this whole presentation so that anyone who'd like to have a copy of the presentation, there's not very many slides. It's pretty simple. We own Slate Mountain Homes. It's a manufactured home dealership based in Pocatello. I live in Idaho Falls near Shelley. Jed lives in Idaho Falls as well. Jed is from Southeast Idaho. I'm not. We've been business partners. We've owned the dealership for about 5 years. We've been doing manufactured homes on permanent foundations. We've done manufactured home communities. And we've done RV parks, RV communities as well. Appreciate the turnout tonight. We do not own the KOA, Creators of the Moon. We just have a contract with the owner to buy it. And we didn't want to buy it until we knew what the sentiment was for development. And so if the decision is that there's no development that's wanted, then we don't even lose our earnest money on the project. We'll happily write off the time we spent putting this application together. And because we don't want to be in a small community where we're not wanted. Does that make sense? And with no hard feelings, we'll happily back out and not move forward. That being said, I want to show you a project that we're completing in Blackfoot as an example of what we think this project potentially could be. This was an old trailer park on Broadway in Blackfoot, Idaho, just a few miles from here. There was an adjacent vacant lot. It had 13 old trailers in it, and we bought it several years ago. We went to the city of Blackfoot. They said, we don't have enough affordable housing, we don't have enough rental housing. It's stunting the growth. There's nothing for people to rent here in Blackfoot. We have businesses that want to hire. We don't have affordable housing, and we'd also like homes that people can buy down the road. So listening to what they said, they gave us permission to take this vacant lot and this mobile home park and to develop it. This was an aerial view before. You can see to the right the vacant lot that was there, and you can see it was an old trailer park, like what you would imagine every stereotype of a trailer park. Old single wides, overgrown, junky cars. It was not a nice community. It was an eyesore in Blackfoot. City was not happy with the crime. The city was not happy with it. And our goal was not to put lipstick on the pig. We wanted to completely redo it and make a nice community of affordable housing. We put together a plan that you can see incorporated the vacant lot and the existing structures. One of the things that we did that was unique with the plan was we don't allow parking adjacent to the homes. We don't want the cars on blocks. We don't want people doing, leaving abandoned cars. We actually had designed it to have a green space in the middle. We designed it to have front porches for all the homes. We understand that affordable housing still has to be affordable for the owner, but it doesn't have to be trashy. It doesn't have to be a war zone. And that was something that we worked with Blackfoot on in terms of green space. These are the homes that our dealership in Pocatello is with Fleetwood. These homes were built in Boise at the manufacturing facility with Fleetwood. They're 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes. They have a side entrance on one side, they have an entrance on the other side, and then they have a front porch that comes out of either the office or the master bedroom. We did a varying color scheme for each one of the homes because we didn't want it to look like a man camp or a FEMA camp after a hurricane or a flood. And you can see from the interior finishes, they're not the cheapest trailers that Fleetwood makes, but they're affordable enough that as we rent them out, they can work for us as developers as well. If you want to click on each of the videos and just make sure that TV's probably muted.
Today's Monday, September 18th. Busy week.
We should go to might be a little bit small for it, but you should be able to just click them all concurrently. Yeah. It's showing up on. Okay, we can just kind of. We can send you a copy of the presentation, but it's video from the last couple of weeks from the project. We're in the final phase of development. The homes are all about set. Everything's brand new. We ran new sewer, new water, new power, curb and gutter, put road in, and we're at the final stage for leasing. The city of Blackfoot's been really happy with it. The adjacent business owners, the residents were happy with it. We worked with them to get to a plan that we were happy with, and so it's been a very good project. The city of Blackfoot, the county surrounding, would love for us to do more projects. We actually just bought an RV park, a second property in Blackfoot that we're utilizing as well. We've earmarked a portion of it for longer term tenants who are able to put their RVs there and do month-to-month leases with us, as well as we've kept part of that RV park for your traditional night, weekend, holiday, RV, in and out type person. Blackfoot's been happy with that as well, because Blackfoot's biggest problem is they don't have affordable housing, and it's hard for a smaller community to attract that from a developer, and so it's limiting the growth of their businesses, it's limiting their growth across the board. No. There you go. Right there. So, several months ago, we noticed that the KOA here in town was listed on the market to sell. We went back and forth with the current owner, and we have a contract to buy it. That contract has a condition that says if we can't get approval to potentially develop this further, because there's land that's not being used, that we don't have to buy it and we don't lose our earnest money. For us, we don't want to come into a community that isn't excited with what the type of project we're doing. We don't want to fight with county commissioners or city planning. We don't want to misrepresent. You know, other investors might buy this project and then try to get this approved. That's not what we did here. And because we knew that there would be opinions, and clearly there are. So one of the things that, so the big picture that our thought is that we would request the development be in phases. We think there's potential to have 75 homes there and expand the footprint of the RV park from 50 to maybe another 50 spaces to have both a bigger RV and an adjacent manufactured home community on that land. But that's not what we're asking for. We understand that the community and the board might want to start small, and if we could get approval to put 20 homes in initially, that's all we're asking for. We're not saying we want permission to do up to 100 homes. We'll start with 20. We're 100% comfortable with only having permission to build 20 homes, and if a year from now or 18 months from now, the community and the board decided they didn't want further development, we're happy to keep it as a KOA with 20 homes. We felt like 20 homes was the minimum number that it made sense for us to keep this project. And full disclosure, if there's zero desire for growth, then we won't buy the KOA. We've told the seller that if we can't get any permission for any development, then we'll step back from the deal and we'll find another community that's more interested in the growth. So that's full disclosure from our part. We're not going to try to force a round peg in a square hole. Does that make sense? Phase one would be to upgrade the service. We would do that this fall on the KOA. There's 30 amp service meters. They're not individually metered. We would upgrade all of them to 50 amps and individually meter them. That's all that will be done this fall. But we would try to attract some winter tenants at the KOA to the existing KOA. We've had feedback from the current owner that he had put some winter residents in there before, but the power bills killed him. And so we would individually meter them and upgrade the service to 50 amp. That's the only thing that would be done this year. Next spring, we would plan on doing the development on the 20 home community. You can see that map is there to the right. And then assuming that was well received, then we would map out and do the phase 3, which would be to either expand both the KOA and add homes, or add homes, whichever made more sense. There's the superimposed 20-home community adjacent to the existing park. So if you're facing the RV park, we would develop one road down the middle with 20 homes facing the frontage road. There's city sewer there, so we wouldn't do septic. There's power. There's a transformer there on site, so we felt like there's plenty of power. It wouldn't be a lot to add that component. And we would put 20 brand new homes in. So we wouldn't just put the park and then try to attract old trailers to move in. We would actually put in 20 meters, put in utilities for 20, and then we would put 20 brand new homes in, just like we did in Blackfoot. Those homes would be offered as rentals. We're anticipating somewhere between $1,250 and $1,500 a month. That was the best data that we could get on what a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home rents for. Obviously, there's not a lot to rent here in this community. I've heard, people staying at motels who there's just not a lot of rentals. There's not a lot of affordable homes. One of the things that's unique about this that we've done in Blackfoot is we've left the option open because each one of these homes is deeded individually. And so in Blackfoot, if we have a long-term tenant that's a good tenant, as park owners, we will sell them the home and finance it for them. That's something we've done in communities in Kansas City that I own, in Charlotte, in Indianapolis. And so it's been a good thing in those communities because we're not trying to keep people in affordable housing as long-term renters. They take better care of the manufactured home community. When they are homeowners, we don't want all renters. Over time, we would identify those that are going to be there long-term and can afford to, and we'll actually sell them the home. So not only are we creating affordable rental housing communities, we're also creating a path to home ownership for a lot of those residents that normally wouldn't have that. And that's something that we're very proud about because they're not beat up old trailers either. These are nice homes. Once they've proven to us that they'll take care of it and that they're good with their bills and that they're a good member of that community, we act as the bank for them and we finance those homes to them. And so that's something that's been a very good aspect of this. This is the only thing that we would be asking for permission from initially. We wouldn't try to backdoor any further expansion. If this was well received, if the community was okay with it, then we would go through the steps to put together a plan to either expand the RV park and add some additional homes or to add additional homes. Any discussion, I feel like, or Q&A related to that, I understand that there's some wetland issues. I understand that there would be engineering required. But we haven't done that homework because we know that wouldn't be part of this scope of work. We're not asking for that. We wouldn't try to do the engineering on that. We understand that that would be a whole big thing that we'd have to pay for, engineer, and come up with a plan for that. We haven't done that because we're not asking for that. We think that that would be too big of a bite for the community to accept, and we'd rather come in and show with 20 homes that we can be good citizens, that we can be a part of this development community, and it could be a good thing. If we feel comfortable with this community, we're in a position to also develop third half 1 acre lots and put brand new homes on permanent foundations. That's something we've done in towns as small as Roberts. That's something that we've done in Idaho Falls. That's something that we're doing across the country. And somebody asked me, well, why don't you just come in and do one of those communities? Because there's less profit for that, especially if you don't know what stuff will sell for and what the demand is. And so from us, we see this as potentially about a $5 million project. And if we can't make it pencil, then we'll happily step aside and not do anything here. So hopefully you understand kind of what our perspective is on it. Understand that we don't own the project, that we're not asking for it as an owner, that we're coming in saying, here's what we're thinking. If there's a way we can come together on it where it makes sense for us and it makes sense for the community, we're happy to do that. And if that's not the case, we understand that as well.